Did my app just crash? Let's see. Is that now working? Here we go. Cool. All right, let's see what's going on here. Am I still live here? What's happening? Are people still around? Sorry for crashing. Can anyone give me a sign of what if that is working? Let's see. So when I go to Twitch, it looks like that it's running. Okay, now everything seems to work here. Okay. The viewer counts are completely off, but let's kick it off and let's see where it goes. So, and can you hear music, Madalena? All right, and music is there, yeah? Is that? Oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay. No music? What about that? Okay, that is a very bumpy start. Okay, so what we did the last week was basically we built a Next.js application to do something with the domain today-i-learned.dev, which I bought when I had a shower thought. So let me just go back to the application that we have here. So you see here that I'm in my current working directory, and theoretically when we do npm start here, this should kick off another local server. Well, that works great today. Try running next build. So let's see. In next build. And what we did in the last week is that we started fetching some RSS feeds, and everything is a Next.js application. So for the people that don't know Next.js, this is one of these fairly new React frameworks that run on the server side, and it has a pretty sweet development experience. So, and what we did is, yeah, well, so last try with the music, because otherwise I can turn it off. So there's no music. So what we did is basically that we built an application that fetched some different RSS feeds and displayed them in a list. And then I think Niels joined the party and said that we should implement something like logging and voting with Firebase. So let's see if this now works. Here we go. Didn't we change? Let's see. So it's dev. That's the problem. npm run dev. So let's see where we were last week. So last week we implemented this with Next.js, and we'll now go to localhost 8080. And Next.js is running. We should see the application that we did the last week. And my computer is on fire here, so let's see. So here we go. So what we had here is, let's do a quick recap. We had here inside of the pages directory, we had several routes. So in Next.js, everything is basically, routes are file-based. So what we did is that we included a index.js file, which is the home directory, which is what we currently see here. So when we do hello from stream here, what we should be able to is to see that live updating here. Here we go. And then we implemented a posts route, which then had an index, and this was showing different RSS feeds. So when we go here, this should show us things fetched via RSS. Sweet. And everything was coming from this file here basically. And what we do is that we have here config.js file that includes some today I learned RSS feeds. So, and with this, we have the recap, and what we wanted to do first is I wanted to create a GitHub repository for that, because I thought it would be cool to push that today to GitHub for the first time. And then if people want to request something that we should do together the next time, then we could do this via GitHub issues. So I'm just going to go into GitHub and I'm going to create a new repository, which is today-i-learned.dev. And we're going to make it public, and it will be just empty. But I know that René via Twitter already requested to maybe do a CI/CD pipeline with Next. And I think it would be nice to just have the things that we should do in the upcoming streams via GitHub issues. So that would be super cool. And at the end of the day, I will push the source code that we're dealing with here to this GitHub repository. So, and with this, let me just close Twitter here. And with this, Niels joined the party then, and he said that we could do authentication with Firebase, which to be honest, I've never used Firebase. I know that a lot of people are big fans of that, but I think what we could do is that we could see how to authenticate with Firebase, and then we could already potentially bring in some voting here to kind of sort and work with these Today I Learned posts that are currently coming from the RSS feeds. So what we can do now is I'm going to go to Firebase and let's see how this actually works. Niels last week said that we can authenticate with Firebase. Let's see how that is going to work, and that this provides user authentication quickly. So let's just have a look at the getting started. I want to build my authentication system with Firebase. That's pretty much what I want to do. And we want to do, let's say, a GitHub web login. That looks good. Okay, add Firebase to your JavaScript project. Sign into Firebase. Register app in Firebase. Okay, let's do that first. So I'm gonna sign into Firebase. And let's see. Now we have to do 2FA, yep. Hey Niels, Firebase action today. Let's see how this goes. All right, so what we're gonna do, I don't remember what I did here, so let's clean that up. How do I remove that one? Project settings. I want to delete the app. Where do I do this? Okay, let's keep it then. So what I'm going to do is, let's go to project overview, and then I'm going to add a project, which we're going to call today-i-learned.dev. Okay, no special characters, I can deal with that. Here we go. Can only contains like this. So let's continue with that. And now Google Analytics is free. Do I need analytics? No. Okay, creating the project. Let's see what happens now. So as far as I understood, Firebase is a kind of real-time database. And I was already surprised when Niels told that it also offers authentication. So let's have a look what actually happens here now. So what I can do is, let me make that a little smaller like this. Okay. Authentication. Okay. How do I get started? How do I get started? Okay, so Lene says how I can delete things. So let's go back here. I go to Podbot, which is a project that I started, and then project settings, and then scroll to the end. Oh, well, that is not very visible here. Okay, so let's get rid of this one. Here we go. This is today-i-learned.dev, and I want to authenticate here. So how do we do this? Okay. Drop-in solution. Well, drop-in solution sounds good. So let's go here. Installation. Okay, option 1, do it with a CDN. So we would have to bring in this little thingy here. And then, yeah, let's do it like this here. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my terminal. Let's stop that, and what I'm gonna do is yarn add Firebase and Firebase UI. Sweet. So then we can add these things here already. So let's go into our index file. Here we go. And then we want to do import Firebase from Firebase. We want to do the same with Firebase UI on the home route. Oh. Import. Is that all? Let's see. So let's bring this one in. So theoretically this now should be done installing, so that we can do yarn dev. And this is still the same error that we had last time, that the node modules were not compatible. And I think I have to rethink my music here because it's kind of puzzling me. Okay. So now we have localhost 8000 running, and we can go here. Theoretically, we should have something on the home route now. So let's have a look what should happen next. Okay, these are the three options. So we can either use an npm module, a Bower component. Oh boy, I haven't read Bower for a while. Okay. So Firebase UI includes the following flows: interaction with. Okay, so I would like to go with GitHub for now. All right, add Firebase to your JavaScript project. I think we did this. In the Firebase console, open the auth section. Auth section. Let's remove these two here. And on the sign in method, enable GitHub provider. I think I did that too. Get started. GitHub enable. Add your client ID and client secret from that provider's developers console. Register your app as a developer application on GitHub. Okay. Does that bring me to the right thing here? Okay. Today I learned .dev. Does that work? Today I learned .dev. Homepage URL is the same one. And then, do we need the callback? Make sure your OAuth redirect. Okay, so we should grab this URL here, but it's probably not this URL because my app is not called my app. So where do I see the URL here of this project? Is it here in project overview? So let's have a look. Where do I find this? So it's like a name and a number hash. Name and number hash. Where do I find this? It's this one. All right. So here we have this one. And when I paste this one here right now, it probably will show me some secrets and some tokens. So what we would have to do is, I'm gonna move that for a moment off the screen and let's see what it shows me. Here we go. So I have no client ID, which I don't. Okay, let's bring it back. I don't mind about the client ID, so let's have a look. To add this here, but I do mind about the client secret, which I'm gonna create a new secret. Make sure to copy that. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Save that one, and it's hopefully not showing anything anymore. Cool. So we enabled now GitHub authentication with this in Firebase. So what would be the next step here? Make sure you click Save. Okay, handle the sign-in flow with the Firebase SDK. To handle the sign-up flow, follow these steps. Go into follow these steps. Create an instance of the GitHub provider object. Okay, let's just copy all snippets here for now, and let's see what happens then. So this is the first one that we should do. Specify additional OAuth scopes that you want to request from the authentication provider. Optional, I guess. Specify additional custom OAuth provider parameters. Okay, I don't mind. And then this is probably the thing that we care about here. So this is optional, this is optional. And here we have a provider. And here we have the provider too. Cool. So now we only would have to bring in Firebase. Like this maybe. And then I'm gonna start the server. Let's have a look what's going on here. Okay. Stefan is getting ahead of himself. So let's figure out if the imports work for us all. So in our package.json, we should now have Firebase and Firebase UI, which we don't have because we still have this node version mismatch. What was the last? History grep yarn What was the command to ignore stuff? This is it. So let's add these. I should really fix that. So we want to have Firebase and Firebase UI. Here we go. So let's hope that it succeeds now. And what we then should have is we should have the 2 imports available. That's now a little bit quicker. Nice. Come on, Yarn. Don't leave me alone. Cool. So now we can do yarn dev, and then we can see how this all works. But theoretically now in the package JSON we should have 2 new dependencies. Nice. And from there, well, happy you learned something, René. So let's see if my Twitch setup still works. Here we go. So theoretically, let's see if we have the Firebase object available. Let's have a look. When we look here now, compiling. That looks actually good. Is there an auth in there? User auth. Yeah, so this seems to work. And then we have the Firebase UI, which shouldn't throw an error either. Okay, compiled successfully. So we do const provider, Firebase, auth, GitHub provider. What's your problem here? And I think this is just a TypeScript thing because my sound is a little bit creepy today. Is it better now? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Well, okay, René. Okay, René, Niels, are you ready to... Oh, let's fix